Miketh, from the sole, or the hollow part of the foot, or hand, or palm. Therefore like the spoon, the underside. And is from kafif, to bend, to bow down. And looking at kef, his open palm and bent, and his gematria 11, almost 12. And pe sofit is the oral Torah, and he stand upright, what has been spoken. And he's 17, depicting immaturity. And looking at kafef, that letter pe sofit, it is like letter chav, but now is open down. So you have letter yod, where Yehovah can work the spark, but they stand upright, almost like I don't need your work. And is of regel, the step or feet, from rogel, to spy out, to view, or as a tale bearer, and that of slander, or to explore. Therefore, rogel is to start or made accountable, and to walk, to learn or teach. Ve'ed rosh, and as far as up to in perpetuity of time, the head, the beginning, the top. And rosh is the head of the leader to press and consume. So they have walked, and they have consumed and eaten or pressed. So therefore, in all that they have spoken, and all where they have walked, and what have they consumed, in a book, nothing in it, that of faileth, uncurable, and infinite. From in is the pride, and chirik, the nekudo below aleph, is nullification before God. And completed the cycle, and in continuity, methom, no soundness, integrity, and entirely free from damage or decay. So that of faileth in it, no soundness, and tomem is finished, clean, upright, and to consume. And looking at methom, is the open word that has been completed, all of the concealed word. So none of that, not complete at all. And what happens? Petse, wounds. Wait, let me verify my notes. That paper. And petse, to blow open, and in hunting for broken vessels. And letter ayin is the evil eye. And looking at all is the yoke in idolatry of slavery. And born out of a heart of envy, but not only wounds, but bruises, the chebura of stripes. Ouch! And it causes a skin injury and a discoloration. Like when you, but don't, if you ever punch someone's eye, it becomes purple, and that's a bruise. And chebura is the sin that is open, given the petach below letter chet, and now the tent that is in conflict and divides. And therefore it multiplies, given the milupin of Vav, and Vav as well is to add, of the evil, poor, and bent over, in poverty and servitude, and it disturbs, given letter He, chebura. But not only that, umeka, and plagues and sores, an open skin infection. And we covered this one from Lucas 16:21. You remember Lazarus. He was covered fully in sores, but this in addition is Trya. So Mecca is this open chaos, has completely tamed and bent and is disturbing, and Trya is putrefying, fresh and new, given the moist, and causes decay and an offensive smell. And from Trya is modded and matured and of a completed cycle. So we have that of wounds, bruises, or stripes, and now sores. The open skin's infection that putrefy. Ew! Lo zoru, not closed up, not pressed out, or squeezed. And from zur is cut, which is interesting because we have a wound. Remember? Betze. Therefore you cut as to remember, and you connect them together, letter vav, and now to mature it. And that of cutting is like to remember why this wound. And it would be funny because it could be caused by a cut, like a dry cut. They're disturbing, aren't they? But if this cut into remembers, you connect it together and let it mature, you hope that the wound closes up. And not only that, out of the stripes and bruises you have velo chubashu, and not saddled or bind up and bandaged. From chovesh is make fat, new, and defend, to build and return or press. You remember the skin discoloration? As the blood from damaged blood cells deep beneath the skin collects near the surface of the skin, resulting in what we think as a black on blue mark. Therefore he needs new cells and to build, to return and press, saddled up for a new day of adventures, hoping not again with those punches that causes these bruises. But not only that, velo rukecha, and not mollified, to be tender, that of soft and assuaged, therefore representing that of a weakened or contrite mind. From rocher is the poor man that is going, letter chav, in a godly transition, 11 to 12, but now is tamed actually. And noticing the shava of letter chav sofit, the last letter, those two dots, one representing the sun, the top one, and then the moon below it, representing a distinction, and declares the higher point of domination and greatness of the top, and then the one below it. The shaman, with ointment, with oil, that of fatness, and shemen, the segol, on both the two first letters, represents chesed, kindness, and therefore letter shin of steadfast and immersed of the open word, and to abide, to be a hair, a righteous hair, that continues. And this verse would be incomplete without the verse above it, for it says, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart faint. And it declares that from the sole of the foot and even to the head, there is no soundness, no completeness of the open word, completely of the concealed word. And therefore whatever you declare, and whatever have made a spark from Kef, you have rejected and spoken uprightly, and have walked your own ways. And now on the head, you have pressed out of your own power, and now in pride you have nullified God. I don't need you. And you have completed a cycle, Ian, and continually, so that without the word you are made unsound. And now you're full of wounds, of bruises, and plagues, but not only the plagues like Lazarus had, but now they are
putrefied, with an offensive smell given the decay.
Ew! And to make things right, he declares that this wound hasn't been pressed out, or closed up, or the bruises bind up, bandaged to make it new. All these cuts now to remember what happened. We departed from God. And of these bruises, then to make fat, and to build, to return, to come back. And of these plagues or sores, that thou mayst be tender, weakened, and of a contrite mind. But with what? With shaman, with ointment, and of oil, and of fatness. And he declares joy, but in kindness. And the segol, it introduces the love of Yehovah, the love of the Torah, and the love of a fellow Yehudi, and to praise Yehovah, so as to be steadfast and immersed, to remain, abide, and be ahead. And we thank you, Yehovah, because you have declared our problems. You're our physician, and have declared that we are unclean, that we are unsound. We have been wounded, bruised, and with sore plagues that
putrefy.
And however you want to make things right, to squeezing it together, to make clear cuts that connect them together, and remember, to learn, to return, and to be tender of a contrite mind. And that out of all these experiences, to be steadfast and immersed, that we could continue in life fruitfully. No more sickness, Yehovah, and no revolting anymore, that the whole heart may not faint, but rejoice that with the oil and with the love of the Torah and with thy love and with those that praise you, to be made sound and good before you only by the power of thy Torah. And as we believe in Jesus, from the same book we're studying, but on chapter 53, verse 4 and 5, surely he hath borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of Elohim, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Is not that we were, or we shall be, but we are currently being healed. And this is a reminder to us that we can be bruised today and not realizing, and Yehovah says, hey, you have to be sound before we can partake in this journey together. And therefore, with a contrite mind and immersed in the Torah, we can build together and work for what lasts forever, and being fruitful of the 9 fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, meekness, and self-control. And also, if we can multiply in bringing more people along, all the more to give you praises, Yehovah. Toda Rabba Elohim. Amen. Are you sound? I mean, do you have wounds or bruises?
Or putrefied sores. Ew.
Get those closed up and bandaged and appeased with balm, that you may be free from defect, from the sole of thy foot up to the top of thy head, before Eth Kedosh Israel. Miketh regel ve'rosh e'abo methom teze וחבורה ומכה טריה לא זורו ולא חו בשוב